Overthinking doesn't usually announce itself. It doesn't say, "I'm here to sabotage your confidence." Instead, it sounds reasonable, and it sounds like caution. It sounds like responsibility. It sounds like just being thorough. But if you've ever replayed a conversation long after it ended, or delayed a decision because you wanted one more piece of certainty, or doubted yourself even after doing the work, you already know the truth. Overthinking doesn't protect you, it exhausts you. And over time, it quietly erodes the one thing every leader needs most: self-trust. Welcome to Everyday Leader, practical leadership for everyday people, powered by emotional intelligence and real-life situations. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about how to stop overthinking and trust yourself more. Not with blind confidence, not with hype, but with calm clarity and emotional intelligence. This is about learning how to think clearly under pressure, make decisions without spiraling, and lead from a place of inner steadiness, even when you don't have all the answers. Now, let's begin. One, why overthinking feels so convincing. Overthinking is tricky because it disguises itself as intelligence. You tell yourself you're being careful. You tell yourself you're being responsible. You tell yourself you're avoiding mistakes. But emotionally intelligent leaders understand something important. Thinking more does not always mean thinking better. Overthinking usually appears when your brain is searching for certainty in situations where certainty doesn't exist. And when certainty is unavailable, the mind does what it knows best. It loops, it analyzes, it replays, it imagines outcomes, and it searches for the perfect response. But leadership and life rarely offer perfect answers. They offer direction. 2, overthinking is often a trust issue, not a thinking issue. Most people assume overthinking is a problem with the mind. In reality, it's often a problem with trust, specifically a lack of trust in your own judgment. When you don't trust yourself, your brain keeps searching externally for reassurance, for approval, for certainty, for guarantees. And because guarantees don't exist, the search never ends. Emotionally intelligent leaders don't eliminate uncertainty. They accept it, and then they act anyway. 3, the hidden cost of overthinking. Overthinking doesn't just slow you down, it changes how people experience you. When you overthink, you may hesitate when speaking, over-explain simple points, delay decisions, seek excessive validation, second-guess your own ideas. Over time, others may sense that uncertainty, even if they can't name it. And leadership presence begins to fade, not because you lack intelligence, but because you lack decisiveness. Clarity builds trust, and clarity requires movement. 4, confidence is not the absence of doubt. This is one of the biggest misunderstandings about confidence. Confident people still feel doubt. They just don't let it control them. They understand that doubt is information, not instruction. Emotionally intelligent leaders allow doubt to exist, but they don't negotiate with it endlessly. They listen, they assess, they decide, and then they move forward. 5, separate thinking from ruminating. Here's a powerful distinction. Thinking leads to insight. Ruminating leads to paralysis. Thinking asks, what matters most right now? Ruminating asks, what if I get this wrong? Thinking creates direction. Ruminating creates fear. When you notice your thoughts looping without producing clarity, that's your signal. You're no longer thinking, you're stalling. 6, use the good enough decision rule. Emotionally intelligent leaders don't wait for perfect decisions. They aim for good enough decisions, made at the right time. Ask yourself, do I have enough information to move forward responsibly? Is waiting actually improving the decision or just easing my anxiety? Most decisions don't require certainty. They require commitment. Progress builds clarity far better than endless analysis. 7. Trust grows through action, not thought. Self-trust is not something you think your way into. It's something you build through action. Every time you make a decision, follow through. Handle the outcome. Learn from the result. You send yourself a message, and I can handle this. And that message compounds. Over time, your confidence becomes quieter and stronger. 8. Stop replaying conversations. One of the most common forms of overthinking is social replay. You revisit what you said and how you sounded, what they might have thought. But emotionally intelligent leaders understand this. Most people are far more focused on themselves than on replaying your words. And even if someone misunderstood you, you can clarify later. Replaying the past doesn't improve the future. Presence does. 9. Use this simple grounding question. When your mind starts racing, ask this: what's the next small useful action I can take? Not the perfect action and not the safest action, the useful one. This question moves you out of abstraction and into reality. And reality is where leadership lives. 10. Trust your preparation. Overthinking often shows up right before performance, before a meeting, before a presentation, before a difficult conversation. In those moments, remind yourself you prepared, you learned, you showed up. Trusting yourself doesn't mean assuming perfection. It means honoring your effort. 11. The myth of the right answer. Many people overthink because they believe there is one correct choice and everything else is failure. But leadership decisions are rarely binary. They are adaptive, and you choose a direction. You observe results, you adjust. That's not weakness, that's intelligence. 12. Learn to be decisive without being rigid. Decisiveness doesn't mean stubbornness. Emotionally intelligent leaders decide and stay flexible. They say, this is my best judgment right now. And if new information appears, they update. That's confidence, not ego. 13. Build an internal reference point. Overthinkers often rely on external feedback to feel safe, but leaders develop an internal reference point. They ask, does this align with my values? Does this serve the goal? Can I stand behind this choice? And when your decisions come from alignment instead of approval, confidence stabilizes. 14. Silence the inner critic with evidence. Your inner critic is loud when it's unchecked, but it quiets down when you respond with facts. Not affirmations, facts. I've handled situations like this before. I don't need to be perfect to be effective. I can course correct if needed. Confidence grows when self-talk becomes grounded, not dramatic. 15. Accept that mistakes are part of leadership. Emotionally intelligent leaders don't aim to avoid mistakes. They aim to respond well to them. When you trust that you can recover, mistakes lose their power, and overthinking loses its fuel. 16. Reduce input to increase clarity. Too much information increases overthinking. Limit opinions, comparisons, endless research. Sometimes clarity doesn't come from adding more, but from subtracting noise. 17. Confidence comes from consistency. Self-trust isn't built in big moments. It's built in small, consistent behaviors. Showing up on time, doing what you said you'd do, keeping promises to yourself. Consistency creates identity, and identity creates confidence. 18. the calm leader's mental reset. When you feel stuck in your head, try this reset. Breathe slowly for 10 seconds. Name what's actually happening without judgment. Choose one action that moves you forward, and this breaks the loop. 19. Stop waiting to feel ready. Readiness is not a feeling, it's a decision. Most people don't feel ready. They become ready by acting. Leadership doesn't wait for comfort. It moves with intention. 20. Replace overthinking with ownership. Overthinking asks, what if this goes wrong? Ownership asks, if this goes wrong, how will I handle it? That shift changes everything because now you're not avoiding outcomes. You're preparing to respond. Final message. Overthinking doesn't mean you're weak. It usually means you care, but caring without clarity leads to hesitation, and hesitation steals momentum. And if you want to trust yourself more, act sooner, reflect calmly, learn quickly, move forward again. Leadership confidence isn't loud, it's steady. It's built quietly through decisions made, lessons learned, and trust earned over time. You don't need to eliminate doubt. You just need to stop letting it drive. In the next lesson, we'll explore how to make better decisions under pressure. You'll learn how emotionally intelligent leaders stay calm, focused, and decisive, even when the stakes are high. Watch it here and keep growing as an everyday leader.